Hey guys, Big Bear coming at you from West Palm Beach. Pardon the nudity. I wanted to show off my skin. Do I look good? Does my skin look clear? Yeah, I keep my hair cut short. I'm going a little bit gray, but I don't know. I think my skin's in great shape. I think eating this way is helping. Speaking of which, this is from the China Study. Chapter 12, How to Eat. When my youngest son and collaborator on this book, Tom, was 13 years old, our family was in the final stages of a slow shift to becoming vegetarian. One Sunday morning, Tom came home from a sleepover at a close friend's house and told us a story I still remember. The night before, Tom was being grilled in a friendly way on his eating habits. The sister of Tom's friend had asked him rather incredulously, "You don't eat meat?" My son had never justified his eating habits. He had just gotten used to eating what was on the dinner table. As a consequence, Tom was not practiced at answering such a question. So he simply answered, "No, I don't," without offering any explanations. The girl probed a bit more. "So what do you eat?" My son answered with a few shrugs. "I guess just plants." She said, "Oh," and that was the end of that. The reason I enjoy this story is because my son's response, "plants," was so simple. It was a truthful answer, but couched in an entirely untraditional manner. When someone asks for the glazed ham across the table, she doesn't say, "Pass the flesh of the pig's butt, please." And when someone tells his children to finish their peas and carrots, he doesn't say, "Finish your plants." But since my family and I changed our eating habits, I've come to enjoy thinking of food as either plants or animals. It fits well into my philosophy of keeping the information on food and health as simple as possible. Food and health are anything but simple in our country, tell the truth. I often marvel at the complexity of various weight loss plans. Although the writers always advertise their plan's ease of use, in reality, it's never easy. Followers of these diets have to count calories, points, servings, or nutrients, or eat specific amounts of certain foods based on specific mathematical ratios. There are tools to be used, supplements to be taken, and worksheets to be completed. It is no wonder that dieting seldom succeeds. Eating should be an enjoyable and worry-free experience and shouldn't rely on deprivation. Keeping it simple is essential if we are to enjoy our food. One of the most fortunate findings from the mountain of nutritional research I've encountered is that good food and good health is simple. The biology of the relationship of food and health is exceptionally complex, but the message is still simple. The recommendations coming from the published literature are so simple that I can state them in one sentence. Eat a whole foods, plant-based diet while minimizing the consumption of refined foods, added salt, and added fats. He says, see table on page 243, which is, maybe I can splice it in or something for you guys to see, or you can stop that and read that if I flip it around so you can read it, right? All right. Supplements. Daily supplements of vitamin B12 and perhaps vitamin D for people who spend most of their time indoors and or live in the northern climates are encouraged. For vitamin D, you shouldn't exceed RDA recommendations. That's it. That's the diet science has found to be consistent with the greatest health and the lowest incidence of heart disease, cancer, obesity, and many other Western diseases. Western diseases. Lifestyle diseases. Diseases that we create for ourselves. Diseases that are self-inflicted. Diseases that are a result of our lifestyle choices. So they are considered lifestyle diseases. What does minimize mean? Should you eliminate meat completely? The findings from the China study indicate that the lower the percentage of animal-based foods that are consumed, the greater the health benefits, even when that percentage declines from 10% to 0% of calories. So it's not unreasonable to assume that the optimum percentage of animal-based products is 0, at least for anyone with a predisposition for a degenerative disease. But this has not been absolutely proven. Certainly it is true that most of the health benefits are realized at very low, but perhaps non-zero levels of animal-based foods. My advice is to try to eliminate all animal-based products from your diet, but not obsess over it. If a tasty vegetable soup has a chicken stock base, or if a hearty loaf of whole wheat bread includes a tiny amounts of egg, don't worry about it. These quantities very likely are nutritionally unimportant. Even more importantly, the ability to relax about very minor quantities of animal-based foods makes applying this diet much easier, I agree. Especially when eating out or buying already prepared foods. I had some potato salad. I didn't see the egg in it at first, and I didn't read the label, but when I got to eating it, I thought I felt the chunk. I read the label, and sure enough, had some egg in it. And I finished eating everything. Don't worry about it. While I recommend that you not worry about small quantities of animal products in your food, I am not suggesting that you deliberately plan to incorporate small portions of meat into your daily diet. My recommendation is that you try to avoid all animal-based products. There are 3 excellent reasons to go all the way. First, following this diet requires a radical shift in your thinking about food. It's more work to just do it halfway. If you plan for animal-based products, you'll eat them, and you'll almost certainly eat more than you should. Second, you'll feel deprived. Instead of viewing your new food habit as being able to eat all the plant-based food you want, you'll be seeing it in terms of having to limit yourself, which is not conducive to staying on the diet long term, right? If your friend had been a smoker all of his or her life and looked to you for advice, would you tell them to cut down to only 2 cigarettes a day, or would you tell them to quit smoking altogether? It's in this way I'm telling you that moderation, even with the best intentions, sometimes makes it more difficult to succeed. Can you do this? For most Americans, the idea of giving up virtually all meat products, including beef, chicken, fish, cheese, milk, and eggs, seems impossible. You might as well ask Americans to stop breathing. The whole idea seems strange, fanatical, or fantastic. This is the biggest obstacle to the adoption of a plant-based diet. Most people who hear about it don't seriously consider it, despite the truly impressive health benefits. If you are one of these people, if you are curious about these findings, but know in your heart that you will never be able to give up meat, then I know that no amount of talk will ever convince you to change your mind. You have to try it. Give it 1 month. You've been eating cheeseburgers your whole life. A month without them won't kill you. A month isn't enough time to give you any long-term benefits, but it is long enough for you to discover 4 things. And actually, I say 6 weeks. Stick it out for 6 weeks. Even 6 weeks. 6 weeks is the convincer. 6 weeks in, all kind of stuff started happening to me. If you stick with it long enough, you will discover 4 things. There are some great foods that you can eat in a plant-based diet that you otherwise may never have discovered. You may not be eating everything you want. Desire for meat may last longer than a month. But you will be eating lots of great, delicious foods. Number 2, it's not, excuse me, it's not all that bad. Some people take to this diet quite quickly and love it. I did. From the get-go. Many take months to fully adjust to it, but almost everyone will find that it's a lot easier than they thought. Seriously, just jump. Take the leap. Try it. Number 3, you'll feel better. Period, over and out. This is a medical diet. It's considered medicine. Yes, you should talk to your doctor and say, hey, doc, I'm fixing to start taking this medicine. You'll say, what is it? Whole foods, plant-based diet. Medicine. You'll feel better, even after only a month or 6 weeks. Most people will feel better and likely lose some weight too. That's why I say 6 weeks too. The last 2 weeks. You'll be surprised. Try having your blood work done both before and after. Odds are you'll see significant improvement in even that period of time, particularly things like cholesterol, your A1C. Drops down. Number 4, most importantly, you'll discover that it's possible. You may love the diet or you may not, but at the very least, you'll come away from your 1-month trial knowing that it's possible. You can do it if you choose to. All the health benefits discussed in this book are not just for Tibetan monks and fanatical Spartans. You can have them too. You can have them too. I've got them. I got them from following this type of diet. A little extra. We'll talk about that. The first month can be challenging, more on this shortly, but it gets much easier after that, and for many, it becomes a great pleasure. I know this is hard to believe until you experience it for yourself, but your tastes change when you are on a plant-based diet. You not only lose your taste for meat, you begin to discover new flavors in much of your food. Flavors that were dulled when you ate a primarily animal-based diet. A friend of mine once described it as like being dragged to an independent film when you wanted to go to the latest Hollywood action flick. You go in muttering, but you discover to your surprise that the film is great and much more fulfilling than the shoot-'em-up movie would have been. All right, guys. Getting close. All right, we'll keep going. The transition. If you take me up on my suggestion of trying a plant-based diet for 1 month, 6 weeks, that's my suggestion. There are 5 main challenges you'll likely face. In the first week, you may have some stomach upset as your digestive system In the first week, you may have some stomach upset as your digestive system adjusts. This is natural. It is nothing to worry about and doesn't usually last long. Number 2, you'll need to put some time into this. Don't begrudge this time. Heart disease and cancer take time too. Specifically, you'll need to learn some new recipes, be willing to try new dishes, discover new restaurants. You'll need to pay attention to your tastes and come up with meals that you really enjoy. This is key. But I love my food. I just want to show you it's in the cooler now. All right, so. Number 3, you'll need to adjust psychologically. No matter how full the plate is, many of us were trained to think that without meat, it's just not a real meal, especially at dinner. You'll need to overcome this prejudice. Number 4, you may not be able to go to the same restaurants you used to go to, and if you can, you certainly won't be able to order the same things. This takes some adjustment as well. And lastly, number 5, your friends, family, and colleagues may not be supportive. For whatever reasons, many people will find it threatening that you are now a vegetarian or vegan. Perhaps it's because deep down they know their diet isn't very healthy and they find it threatening that someone else is able to give up unhealthy eating habits when they cannot. I'd also like to offer you a few pieces of advice for your first month. Number 1, in the long term, plant-based eating is cheaper than an animal-based diet. But as you learn, you may spend a little extra money trying things. Do it. It's worth it. It is. I've experimented. I'm back now. I can go real cheap. But at first I had so much fun. I did a little more refined foods. I'm not doing the Impossible Meats or Beyond Meats or any of that stuff anymore. But I tried them and that stuff's delicious. There's some restaurants that, oh man, all over the country that has some fantastic vegan and vegetarian food. It's fantastic. All right. Number 2, eat well. If you eat out, try lots of restaurants to find some great vegan dishes. Often ethnic restaurants not only offer the most options for plant-based meals, but the unique tastes are exquisite. Learn what's out there. I've been eating Indian-styled food for forever, and then like Mediterranean kebabs, Greek foods. There's tons of that stuff. Ethiopian. Oh man, teff. It's a different type of bread. Fantastic. Number 3, eat enough. One of your health goals may be to lose weight. That's fine. And on a plant-based diet, you almost certainly will. But don't hold back. Whatever you do, don't go hungry. Because you'll blame yourself, and then you'll go, you just make excuses. Keep some with you. Keep a carrot with you, celery. I got stuff. I got snacks that are proper. And if I get hungry, I just snack. I nibble if I have to. I don't go hungry. And then I think this is key too. Eat a variety. Mixing it up is important both for getting all the necessary nutrients and for maintaining your interest in the diet. And that's true. I like that. I do one thing one day, do a couple things here, so forth. The bottom line is that you can eat a plant-based diet with great pleasure and satisfaction, but making the transition is a challenge. There are psychological barriers and practical ones. It takes time and effort. You may not get support from your friends and family, but the benefits are nothing short of miraculous, and you'll be amazed at how easy it becomes once you form new habits. It's all about the habits. Take the 1-month challenge. You'll not only do great things for yourself, you'll be part of the vanguard working toward moving America into a healthier, leaner future. Glenn is an associate of mine who, until recently, was a dedicated meat eater. In fact, he was recently on the Atkins diet, lost some weight, but dropped off it when his cholesterol went through the roof. He's 42 and overweight. I gave him a draft of the manuscript for the China study, and he agreed to take the 1-month challenge. Here are a few of his observations. The first week is quite challenging. It's hard to figure out what to eat. I'm not much of a cook, so I got some recipe books out and tried creating some vegan dishes. As someone who would swing through McDonald's or heat up a frozen dinner, I found it annoying to have to cook meals each evening. At least half of them were a disaster and had to be thrown out. But over time, I found a few that were fantastic. My sister gave me a recipe for West African peanut stew that was incredible and like nothing I ever tasted. My mom gave me a vegetarian chili recipe that was great. And I stumbled on a great whole wheat spaghetti dish with lots of vegetables and a faux meat sauce made from soy that was amazing. I challenge anyone to know that this was a vegan dish. But all of this does take time. I'm rediscovering fruit. I've always loved fruit, but for some reason I don't really eat much of it. Maybe it's not eating meat, but I'm finding that I'm enjoying fruit more than ever. I now cut up a grapefruit and eat it as a snack. I really like it. I would have never done that before. I actually think my tastes are getting more sensitive. I was avoiding eating out, something I used to do constantly, for fear of not having vegan options. But I'm getting more adventurous now. I found some new restaurants that have some great vegan side dishes, including wonderful local Vietnamese place. I know that most Vietnamese food isn't strictly vegan since they use a fish sauce in many dishes, but for nutritional purposes, it's very close. The other day I got dragged into a pizza place with a large group. There's nothing I could do, and I was starved. I ordered a cheeseless pizza with lots of vegetables. They even made it with a whole wheat crust. I was prepared to choke it down, but actually it was surprisingly good. I've brought that home a few times since. I'm finding that cravings for meat products are pretty much gone, particularly if I don't let myself get hungry. And honestly, I'm eating like a pig. Being overweight, I've always been self-conscious about what I eat. Now I eat like a madman and feel virtuous to boot. I can honestly say I'm enjoying the food I'm eating now a lot more than before, partly because I'm fussier now in what I eat. I only eat foods I really like. The first month went by quicker than I thought it would. I've lost 8 pounds and my cholesterol has dropped dramatically. I'm spending a lot less time on this now, particularly since I've found so many restaurants I can eat at, plus I cook huge meals and then freeze them. My freezer is stocked with vegan goodies. The experiment is over, but I stopped thinking of it as an experiment weeks ago. I can't imagine why I would go back to my old eating patterns. And that's my challenge to you. Give it 6 weeks and see how much weight you lose if you need to lose weight. Give it 4 weeks. Try it. see the benefits. Feel your skin clear up, tighten up. Feel your energy change. You suddenly won't need coffee anymore. You'll sleep better. Hopefully you get some sunlight to go along with that. Best wishes to you.